Hello there and welcome to my third ranking of the entire MCU. Now, the MCU has been a nice conclusion to the saga with Avengers Endgame coming out. It's taken me a while to rethink my list. It does change constantly. The next 5 minutes, I might change my list again. This is not set, but you know what? I just thought, I love these movies. I love talking about these movies again. So let's rank all 20 movies inside the MCU. And before we get started, I don't dislike any of these movies. Even if a movie is lower down the list, doesn't mean I don't love it, because I like all of these films. Not one of these films is bad. All of them are really good. So let's get straight in with the worst one. The one that probably isn't that good, and that's Thor: The Dark World at number 22. Thor: The Dark World, I feel, is just meh. It's still a really entertaining movie. It's just meh, it's meh. Coming in at number 21, I have Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 is a very messy movie. It has a lot of really good moments. The film does lack in action sequences, I feel, and I really don't like the villain. But it has Robert Downey Jr. as the character, so I couldn't put it in last place. Coming in at number 20 is another recent Marvel movie. This is the only Marvel film I feel has actually disappointed me, and that was Captain Marvel. I haven't yet seen the movie. I've only seen the movie once so far, but I did not like Captain Marvel that much. There's a lot to really, really like in this film. I just didn't like the character as much as I wanted to. Coming in at number 19, I have The Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk, I think, is a really decent film. I think it has a lot of really entertaining sequences. Edward Norton, while not good as Incredible Hulk, while not as better as Mark Ruffalo, still does a really, really good job here. Coming in at number 18, I have Thor. The first Thor film has a lot of good moments and has moved down the list just because there are a lot of elements of the first Thor film that are very boring, when a lot of the other MCU films are more consistently really, really entertaining. When this movie does dip in its pacing quite a lot, but there's still a lot to really like in this film. And it's a really good origin story for the character, but they're just more films in the MCU, and this one sort of feels bland rewatching it. Coming in at number 17, also lowered down, is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man and the Wasp is your safe, fun film that doesn't really do much. It's just safe and fun, which we need those movies inside these big franchises, and I'm completely fine with Ant-Man and the Wasp just being a safe, fun film, but it also does make it weaker, which is why it's low on the list, but still, really entertaining. Coming in at number 16, I have Captain America: The First Avenger. After seeing other movies inside the MCU, this one I actually like a lot more, just because I feel that this one has improved over time less than Thor. I really do like Captain America: The First Avenger. It's a really solid origin story. It montages over a lot of things I wish the movie could have dived more deep into, and I didn't really care for Red Skull's villain that much. But at the same time, I really enjoyed the First Avenger. Coming in at number 15 is Avengers: Age of Ultron. Avengers: Age of Ultron, I feel, is a really entertaining movie. Again, like Iron Man 2, it's a messy movie. There's too much going on. There's so many plot lines going on. But this has a lot of really entertaining moments. And we get more time with these characters. So that's a great thing to see, which is why I hire a bit. I think on the entertainment scale, Age of Ultron is up here. But on the quality scale, it's down here because it is very messy. Coming in at number 14, I have Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is a really darn good origin story. It follows a certain structure that a lot of Marvel movies and superhero movies follow, which doesn't make it a great film, but it still is very good with its really interesting visuals, and Benedict Cumberbatch playing a really great character. In this movie, I feel has also improved because other movies have improved this character so much. I just come to really love this character now. Coming in at number 13, I have the first Ant-Man. This is a fantastic heist movie. This is a fantastic comedy. Paul Rudd is great as the character. We're getting into the movies I really, really love now, and Ant-Man is one of them. I love all the things this movie has, and has such more uniqueness, and this movie still pleases to really, really entertain me on multiple rewatches. Coming in at number 12, I have Iron Man 3. I honestly have no clue what people think about this movie. Like, this movie is great. This movie is really great. This is more of a character-based film, but it also has some incredible Iron Man moments. And after seeing Avengers Endgame, I really respect the direction they took with the character in this film. Coming in at number 11 is Black Panther. Black Panther has moved down in my list quite a bit after rewatching it, but at the same time, I adore Black Panther. This film is really, really good. It has so many great moments, and it just creates this world and really culturally impactful. It doesn't have much of an emotional impact like the other movies do, but I really feel that Black Panther is a true great cinematic film, even though it doesn't have as much as this and this in it, but Black Panther is really, really good. It just has the moments in the MCU I really love to see, and I love the character of Black Panther a lot, and also has one of the best villains in the MCU. Cracking off our top 10, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The reason why I put this above some of the other ones, even though I think this movie isn't as good as those ones, this one also doesn't just have better moments. It has a killer soundtrack, of course, as it's a Guardians of the Galaxy film, but it understands the character motivations, and I really love the characters so much in this movie that this movie packs a really big emotional punch for me, especially towards the end, which most Marvel films don't do. And because this movie packs an emotional punch, I gotta crack it into the top 10, because it really, really does. Coming in at number 9 is Spider-Man Homecoming. After seeing this movie, it has improved. If you watch my review of Homecoming, my grade and rating have actually both improved, because I just absolutely adore this film now. And I adored it before, I just love it even more now. Spider-Man Homecoming is just a movie that improves on every single viewing for me. I love the character so much, and it's portrayed so well here. This is such an entertaining movie, and such a light-hearted, fun film, and some may say they played it a little safe, but at the same time, I just got so immersed into the character here. The comedy is great, the action sequences are really good. This is just a really delightful Spider-Man film. Coming in at number 8 is the movie that started off the entire MCU, and that is Iron Man. Iron Man is the movie that started it all, but at the same time is still one of the best movies inside the MCU, because it's the best at crafting an origin story, in my opinion. It crafts such an amazing character, and just because of Robert Downey Jr.'s performance, Jon Favreau's direction, this movie is really, really darn great, and Iron Man just does such a great job of giving us the tone for the MCU, and setting this entire universe up, which is why it's got to be higher on the list, and also, it's a really, really darn good movie. Coming in at number 7 is a film I really don't want to put this low, because I love it so much, but these movies are so good, and that is Captain America, The Winter Soldier. Captain America, The Winter Soldier, holy crap, is amazing. Captain America, The Winter Soldier is one of those movies I just watch, and I'm just like, wow, they could not have done this any better. This is everything it should be. They changed the Captain America character so much to make him so goddamn cool. This has one of the most complex and interesting plots inside the MCU. It has some of the most interesting action sequences, with this movie sort of being like a political thriller, and it's also sort of like a espionage film. It's really, really intriguing, really, really interesting. We get a lot of Nick Fury, a lot of Black Widow here. We get the introduction to Vulcan, we get the Winter Soldier. This is just a really, really entertaining action film with some of the best action sequences inside the MCU, but also some of the best character development. Coming in at number 6, we have Thor Ragnarok. This, I will say, is still, in my opinion, the most fun film in the MCU. There is no other film in the MCU I could rewatch this many times and be so amazed by it. I got a massive smile on my entire face while watching Thor Ragnarok. If I could crack it into the top 5, I would, but I can't. Thor Ragnarok is still, this film is just too amazing to even exist. This changed the Thor character so well, and the reason this movie is so good, I feel, is Taika Waititi. He brings so much of himself into this world and just creates such a unique film, and gives me a splash of comedy, sci-fi, action-y awesomeness, and cracks it all into one film, into one ball that I just love. It gives us so many unique and interesting characters, so many great visuals and colors, and the final fight of this movie gives me chills and goosebumps everywhere. It is so entertaining, it is so hilarious. Thor Ragnarok will still always be one of the most entertaining Marvel movies I've ever seen. Coming in at number 5 is one of the most drama-filled, exciting Marvel movies, and that is Captain America Civil War. Captain America Civil War is a great movie about the Avengers breakup. It is really, really well done. The airport battle scene is so amazing, but there's a conflict here, there's emotion here, there's a great twist. This movie is long and drawn out. It's a really, really investing action movie. The musical score, bringing all these new characters together like Black Panther and Spider-Man and Ant-Man. This movie just does a fantastic job of really crafting situation and also crafting some incredible action sequences. This is another MCU movie that was done amazingly by the Russo brothers. Coming in at number 4, we have Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the film that it was the biggest surprise of the MCU. I had no clue what the Guardians of the Galaxy was when I first saw it, and this is a film that's just grown on me so much. It's a movie that I just adore every single time. It's a film I want to watch over and over again and never get bored by. Of course, you've got the soundtrack, but it's not the soundtrack and the world and the comedy and the action that makes me love this movie. It's the main characters that are just so likable. Coming in at number 3 is the original Avengers. Avengers Assemble is one of the most awesome movies ever. It's one of the most rewatched movies ever for me. This film is just so entertaining, again, because the characters are so interesting in this movie. This film just packs such a big punch and just gives us these character moments we wanted to see for so long. And now with movies, with all the other Avengers movies after this one doesn't feel as grand, but this one is so confined to such a simple story that it focuses so much more on giving us these incredible moments. And the Avengers still, I think, is a masterpiece today. Coming in at number 2, before I go to my number 2, I want to say this was so difficult. This is why I haven't made this video until now. I can't choose between number 2 and number 1. It is interchangeable. Okay? It is interchangeable. I cannot pick between the 2 movies you know are left. I'm just going to pick with my gut here. This was really tough. Coming in at number 2, this burns my heart inside, is Avengers Endgame. I adored this film. This film, every single second, got everything right. This is as much as a masterpiece as we wanted it to be. This film just gave me everything I wanted. Everything. It was perfect combination. But the best thing about this movie is it does so much for the heroes here. That packs such an emotional punch. This is just one of the most satisfying but heartbreaking movies. This is a true finale. And even though I think this is the best movie for the MCU, I think this has the best moments in the MCU, it's not the better movie than my number 1. And coming in at number 1 is still reigns supreme, Avengers Infinity War. Because, you know what, Avengers Infinity War is a movie that I just constantly rewatch over and over again and get the same impact. I get the same emotion, the same feelings, the same sense of awe. It gives me chills and goosebumps. It gives me the feelings I want everywhere. It makes me so immersed into these characters. And yes, I think Endgame has more emotion to it. It's a better structured film. It has better MCU moments. But Infinity War, I think, is the more consistent movie. And I really think Infinity War is a cinematic masterpiece. I will stay by that statement forever. Infinity War is a cinematic masterpiece, in my opinion. Avengers Endgame comes very close to number 1. And maybe after I do this video, I'm going to change it, because I really do want to change. I love both these movies. But Avengers Infinity War, for me, is just a movie that doesn't just develop the heroes, but develops the villains so much. And because this has the strongest villain, where I feel that Thanos was weaker in Endgame, it has some of the most iterative action sequences. It's the most fast-paced Marvel movie. It is got so many great moments and scenes that just make you love it. But it's incredibly consistent, and it's incredibly well paced. And I really struggle between the top 2, but there we go, there's my ranking of the MCU. Comment down below your opinions on the MCU and your rankings. I'd love to see them down below. And again, this list could change any time. As I said, Endgame and Infinity War are really both number 1 spots for me. But if I had to choose one, there you go. But guys, please comment down below your opinions. And of course, thanks for watching. Goodbye.